Hey guys, and welcome to Making Fine Art in MS Paint. Literally, MS Paint. Couldn't be cheaper. This will be pixel art, and not to delay the intro any further, I'm going to show you how to get started. So this is obviously the basic setup. First thing you want to do is click this little pen icon up here. And then you click on the size, and you go to the smallest line. In this case, I'm already started on that. And you want to zoom in all the way. You're basically set up at this point. Like, that's how simple it is. And without further ado, you can just get started. Do whatever you want. But that's not what I'm here for. I often do things like in my spare time. And one thing I like to do, and I think is really fun and easy to do, and it's quite a good starting point just to get accustomed with like things like textures and stuff like that, is to make galaxies. Cute little galaxies. What you want to do is get your canvas size to roughly a square. I usually do that just because it's easier for me. You know, but you can go any resolution. I'm gonna load in my palette because I'm lazy. So this is what will be the colors I will be using to make the galaxy. It's not particularly accurate to how galaxies actually look, but that's what I'm going for. To begin with, you want to make your galaxy core. I just kind of go with like a little, something of this size. And then sometimes you'll either have two types of galaxy. One which has like this central bar that extends across either side of the core, or you'll just have a galaxy that has its arms connect straight to the center. For starters, I'm going to make one with a bar. So you just want to make 3 dots stretching out either side. Typically, if you want to go for like a slightly off angle, you can do something like this. And obviously because I've got my palette here, you want to create a darker color and apply that to the side that you haven't extended on, like this. So you have something that looks like this. Next thing you want to do is also put that around the core region like this. So now you have like, it appears sort of dusty in a way, which is kind of the vibe you're going for. Next up, you want to make, so this would be like your typical 2-arm spiral galaxy. I usually start by making them wrapping around the arms like this. And then you can just click outwards in a roughly circular pattern. If you're confident enough, you can just drag like this. They don't have to be symmetrical, but you know, whatever suits what you want to do, really. Next up, you want to go obviously to your next darker color. So if you haven't done that, make it. And then you just want to like smooth out your shape in any way possible. So you're just applying it to where it looks kind of too flimsy, I would say. Or anywhere where it doubles up, you can make it that look visibly thinner by applying the darker color. Like this, for instance. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get a result that I am happy with. Obviously, you know, your first few attempts, they may not look as good, or they might even look better, and this isn't, I don't suppose my art is particularly that incredible. But, you know, if it doesn't look as good as this, or, you know, it looks better. If it looks better, be happy. If it looks worse, don't feel too concerned, you know, nobody's ever going to get anything right off the bat. God knows it took me a long time to get to this point. And then you want to go down to your next darker color, and you can extend the arms a little bit if you want. If there's anywhere that you feel it should stick out more with the brighter color, go down to a darker color to ensure that you can get that kind of fuzzy and thin, that thin arm feeling. And you can see it's getting kind of fuzzy looking, kind of, and because it's at such a small scale, your head kind of fills in the blanks. You're like, ah, those are stars. And it also helps give the concept of brightness towards the galaxy by making it fuzzier at the edges. There you go, there's a simple little galaxy. I would consider that done if I was going for something a little bit like a background. I will display an image here. It's typically good for like Hubble deep field image, well, it's just thousands and thousands of galaxies. This is good if you want to have one of those little ones. This also works kind of well if you just want like a cute little background, I think. So I'm going to start on a different type of galaxy. It's actually the same spiral galaxy, but this time I'm going to connect the arms to the core instead of having a central bar. So the core area, you just want to put like a rough sort of. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should look roughly circular. I'm already planning myself 2 steps ahead, so I'm going to fill in with the darker color. Like this. This is actually the lighter color, but shh. And then you get that kind of smooth but patchy look. You know, it adds texture in a way that doesn't like inform you that that is light. Like if this was like an upscaled image of a galaxy, it'd look uneven. And then next you just wanna, I'm gonna roughly do it, just forearm, normal type, but you can obviously add more if you feel like it, or less. One thing you definitely don't want to do is have sharp arms like this, because once you add all 4 of them in, you end up with a very bad flag. Typically, sometimes I like to screw up the arms a little, so you can get that kind of a messy asymmetrical feel that galaxies sometimes have. You know, you can make one arm too long, or one arm just like jumbled up or something. I like this, so I'm gonna go down to the next color and apply that where I think it needs to be applied. If you feel like your core region is a little too thin, you can always apply more of like the dark colors around it to thicken it out. One thing to note, that if you get the color picker and then you right click, your secondary color will become the background. And so you've got obviously your main color and your secondary color. So, you know, if you screw up like that, you can just right click to get rid of it. It's a pretty handy tool. Maybe wondering what I'm doing here. This is like applying a different texture to it. This can, depending on how you texture it, I'm just using like a simple checker style. It can create like frayed edges, which is really good when you're at like small scales and you can't fit in a lot of detail. You want to give the image across that it is frayed by applying a texture to it. This galaxy is looking kind of squarish. It's okay, you know, maybe on the rare occasion it is square in real life. Not that this is a real galaxy, but I don't know, it's a free country, I'm allowed to pretend. I just want to point out I'm not obviously the best pixel artist that's ever been, and there are probably a lot more qualified people to teach this, and there's definitely people with better microphones to teach this, but it's just like a lot of programs require a lot of learning in how to, you know, make something simple, like a circle even. Like GIMP has so many things to fiddle with that you could spend hours learning like the 500 ways to make a circle. But in MS Paint, it's just as easy as zooming in, clicking the pen button and starting, you know? And that's why I kind of love pixel art, because it's, I won't say it's easy to produce, but it's easy to get to a point where you can produce it. You know, I find a lot of my life is stuck trying to get into a position where things are able for me to make, rather than, you know, making it itself. This is kind of a messy galaxy, but that's fine. He's working through it. You know, he's had some issues with life. With this dark color, something like this very dark color, you know, you might not even be able to see it. Here, you can almost make it serve as like, but like very diffuse stars that kind of appear as kind of like a grain in your galaxy. And you can use a simple checker pattern to make it appear like there's a lot more going on in your galaxy with the space that you have. Like this. And there you go. There it is. I don't think I prefer it to the other one. I think I prefer the other one more, simply because it's just like cleaner in a sense. I'm not particularly fond of the checkers pattern that I used, but it looks nice. You know, if somebody looked at that, they say, wow, that's a cool little galaxy you made there. I hope. This may end up being a 2-parter. In the second part, I would be showing you how to make like a galaxy cluster, like in the picture I showed you. But otherwise, if you thought this was, you know, useful, feel free to, I don't know, share with someone who also might just want to do some simple art, like pixel art. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe, And thank you for checking it out. I will see you next time. Don't know where, don't know when.